Giving birth without an epidural wasn't just a choice. It was a deeply personal decision that challenged every fiber of my being. In that moment, I discovered a power within myself I never knew existed. As the contractions came and went, I was carried by love, courage, and the belief that my body was capable of bringing new life into this world naturally. I would like to talk about something very close to my heart, which is how to have a birth without an epidural. I want to share my own experience, the preparations that I made, some tips and tricks that really helped me to go through that, and let you know what you can do to prepare yourself for a medication-free natural birth. I just wanted to add that all births are really beautiful and special, no matter which way you choose. Of course, there are so many things that are out of our control, so the only thing that we can do is to help ourselves to be ready for it. First, I just wanted to say that birth is not scary. Of course, it's so natural to have anxieties and fears because we just don't know what's about to happen. We can plan, but we don't know if that's actually going to happen how we want it to happen. And I feel like that uncertainty really causes us to feel scared. I do remember when I went into labor, I just felt so excited but also very fearful at the same time. What really kept me going was a strong reason why I really want to do a medication-free birth. One of my strong reasons was to avoid a cascade of interventions. I'm not gonna go too much into it right now. There are loads of resources you can read about this. I'm gonna link some of them down below so you can have a better understanding if you've never heard of it. But yeah, I just really wanted to have as natural birth as possible without causing any danger to my baby or myself. I knew that for loads of women starting with an epidural, then further interventions were needed, which could lead to a C-section or even challenges with breastfeeding. And that was a reason that I really wanted to avoid it. I thought I'll just try to do my best as much as I can, and if I can handle it, I'll just go without it. So one of the things that I decided to do is to just gain as much knowledge as I can to help myself to prepare. And if you're watching this video, you're doing the same thing. But yeah, just having that knowledge really helped me to know what to expect a bit more, and then how I can actually try and handle my birth without having any pain medication. Another really strong reason why for me was to experience the power of bringing the child into this birth and just really understand and see how my body can handle it. I'm one of those people that I do like challenges, but I also feel like it's just such a natural way of doing things. I just really wanted to try and just to see like how I'm gonna feel after. Now, as I've gone through that, I can tell you that I do feel so powerful. It just really boosted my confidence as a mom. If you do choose to have your birth with a medication, it does not mean that you're not a powerful woman. It does not mean that you're not a good mom. This is completely your choice. This is just something that I wanted to do. I remember when I reached that stage of pushing the baby out, even if I wouldn't have known what to do, my body was ready for it. Like my body was able to do it without me even thinking about this, and I just went with the flow. And even if I wanted to stop it, I wouldn't been able to do that. So it's just so, like, I just wanted to let you know you shouldn't be afraid of it, that it's just gonna happen naturally anyways. Educating myself on all things labor, delivery, birth, and postpartum really helped me feel so much more confident about the whole process, and it just helped my mind to feel at ease. I just want to quickly let you know about all stages of labor so you can have a better understanding what's happening at each step. So the first stage is early labor. This is the time to rest and relax. The contractions or surges, depending how you want to call them, they are not very strong. The best I can describe them, they're like mild period pain. My contractions started at 11 p.m. just before I wanted to go to bed, and then just half an hour before they started, my waters broke, so I actually knew that I am going into labor. In my opinion, the contractions that I felt were a bit stronger than I meant to feel them. Another kind of a strange thing to me was that my contractions from the beginning was every 3 minutes, like 3 to 4 minutes, whilst normally it starts from like every half an hour and then it kind of reduces and it gets closer to a minute. So that was a bit strange for me. So I didn't have as much time to relax, unfortunately, but it was okay. It was still fine. It was just something that I found quite odd, but they were very irregular at this point. After some time, I did call the hospital just to check if I do need to go to the hospital any sooner just because of how often my contractions were. They just calmed me down and they explained that if it does get any more regular, this is when I can give them a call and we can just check again how I feel and see if I want to go. So then I decided to have a bath. Water for me personally is one of those things that really helps me to feel less pain no matter what kind of situation I am. I also knew that drinking loads of water and snacking was a very crucial step because I did not know what's going to happen later and if I'm going to be able to eat in the next 48 hours or so. So yeah, just I would suggest really have loads of water, have something to eat to really fuel your body so you can be strong when you're going through the labor. Even if you don't feel hungry, I would really suggest having something to eat because you don't know how long you might not be able to do that later. And if you do feel hungry at later stages, then you're not able to eat, or you're going to reach that point that you're not going to want to eat, but your body is going to feel quite weak. The next stage is active labor. This is the stage when I was in the hospital already, and I remember I just really did not want to talk to anyone at all. You just get into the zone and you just stay focused on it and nothing else matters. At least that was my experience. So this is the time to really trust in your body and just let it do its thing. As mentioned, I was also very lucky because I was able to have a water birth, and that really helped me to get into that zone and relax. The next stage is transition. This is the hardest but the shortest stage. It is incredibly intense, and this is where many people decide to give up because they feel like they can't handle it. But for me, knowing that is the shortest stage and thinking that if I can push through that, I will no longer need that medication because I'll be able to handle it. In my head, that's at least the thoughts that I try to have. And I think thinking like this really helped me to push through that, no matter how painful it was. The last stage is a pushing stage. So once transition is over and you're fully dilated, your body is ready to push. It's like a natural instinct. There is nothing you can do to stop. But for me, knowing that is the shortest stage and thinking that if I can push through that, I will no longer need that medication because I'll be able to handle it. In my head, that's at least the thoughts that I try to have. So now I just want to let you know all the things that I did to help myself to prepare for a medication-free birth. In my opinion, one of the most important things to prepare yourself to have a natural birth is mastering a mind game. It's all about what you think and how you set your mind. Teaching yourself different techniques of how to stay calm and relaxed, even if you're going through that pain, is really gonna help you to handle it in a much better way. You're also gonna feel so much more confident and in control, and being in control, that's one of those feelings that is just gonna help you to push through that no matter how painful it might be. Also, I really try to change the thought of pain into the thought of this is the force that's bringing my little girl into this world. So just kind of shifting your mindset in this way, that's also another way how you can really help yourself. And the last thing in terms of your mind was really thinking that it's just a day or two that I'll have to go through that, but just really thinking that it's just that one time. Like, it's not gonna last a year. It's not gonna be the pain that you can't stop. Like another thing, like with contractions, it's not that you feel an intense pain constantly. It comes and goes. So you do have that time when you can actually rest. Like, it's not as bad, especially at the last stage. It's just, when you think about it, it's like a minute of pain and then about 3 minutes no pain, and then again. So just like helping yourself to think about that rather than focusing on the pain when it happens, that can really help you out. Another thing that I really wanted to educate myself on and really helped me during the birth and labor process was different breathing techniques. So I did a hypnobirthing course. Those different breathing techniques really helped. I remember 2 breathing techniques that I used during the entire process was the wave and the calming techniques. So the wave technique I used during my surges, and the idea is to breathe in for 7 seconds and then breathe out for 7 seconds. It is not an easy technique because it's very not natural for us to breathe in this way. But by practicing and doing it before your labor and delivery starts really helped me to be better at this technique. I was not able in the beginning to do 7 seconds to like breathe in and breathe out for that long. So I started with like, I think 3 or 4 seconds first, but then just by practicing it more, I remember I reached that 7-second mark, and that was a really good technique that helped me to feel more in control during the surges. And then the calming technique I used in between my surges, and that's something that helped me to relax and prepare for the next surge. So the idea of that one was to breathe in for 4 seconds and then breathe out for any longer period of time. So this one was much easier. Like, you can just try that one out and you'll see how straight away you're gonna feel so much more relaxed. I also found the distraction and Hey Google, How do you pronounce visualization?
That's pronounced visualization.
Visualization. I also found the distraction and visualization techniques, I can't pronounce that word, that I learned in the course were very useful as well. I remember that one of the techniques that I used was imagining the clock and then seeing how the hands are moving backwards. I then imagined the clock turning from 12 to 11 and then every second in between. So then I counted in my mind 60, 59, 58 while still trying to see the image in my head how the hand is moving from 12 to 11. So just being focused on something and then imagining something but making your brain think about something else rather than focusing on that pain was a very good technique. It helped me kind of not be distracted but not to be so focused on the actual sensation of pain that I was feeling. Another thing was having a supportive partner in the room was very helpful as well. It can be your husband, it can be your mom, it can be your mom-in-law, it can be your sister or friend, anyone that you want to take with you. This person is the advocate for you because you're gonna reach that stage that you won't be able to speak or even want to think about anything else. So just knowing that there is somebody in the room that knows exactly what you want and can make decisions on behalf of you if needed, that was really useful as well. For me, the person that I wanted to take to the room was my fiance, and he was with me at every step. Even just like holding my hand was such a big deal at the time. I would suggest sitting down with that person that you want to take to the delivery room and just really discussing all your birth preferences and just letting them know what exactly it is that you would like in case there are any complications, or what kind of pain medication if you do want some, or if you want gas in air, you don't want gas in air. All those kind of things, it would be very good to let your partner know. And then when you reach that stage that you're not able to speak or you don't want to speak, that person can be an advocate for you and just really discuss everything with the nurses, midwives, doctors. And so knowing this really helped me to stay focused on my breathing techniques and the distraction techniques that I mentioned before, and then not even listening what's happening in the room behind me. I also found comfort in the things like a head massage. That was at the earliest stage of labor. When you reach transition, at least for me, I did not want anyone to touch me or like even talk to me. That was just the phase that I wanted to stay focused on. That was it. Educating yourself and educating the person that you want to take to the labor room about those things, what they can do physically to help you. That's also a very good thing. Another thing that I found comfort in was to create my own atmosphere in the way I want it. You should speak to your hospital or birth unit before you go into labor to see what kind of things they allow to do in the delivery suite. In my hospital, at least, I was able to have dimmed lights, the projector that created a very calming atmosphere with different lights and things like that. I also played my own music. I would suggest either creating a playlist on Spotify or Apple Music, depending what you use, and then just bringing your phone with you. Or you can just choose, there are quite a few playlists already created for that, and then just connecting that music to some sort of speaker helps you to create that very calming environment. I would also suggest watching some positive birth stories just before you go into labor. Focusing on those rather than watching some sort of complicated ones was really a good thing for me, and I think that would be beneficial for you as well, because then when you go into labor, you don't really think about all those bad things that might have happened to some other women, but you actually focus on the positive stories that you've seen, and you're just gonna start relating to them. I also believe that you do attract things in your mind that you think, so that was just another reason why I decided to watch positive stories rather than focusing on those negative ones. I did want to educate myself on the things that might happen, but I didn't go too much into detail about them. I just had a kind of general understanding of things in case some sort of interventions might be needed or something might happen. So it's just good to educate yourself to keep yourself at ease. But yeah, I would suggest not to go too much into it, because then you're just gonna focus on them during the actual labor. So yeah, so these are all the things that I did to help myself to prepare for a natural medication-free birth. I will link all the links and the courses that I've mentioned before down below, so you can just check them out if you're interested. Remember that every birth is unique and very special, and it doesn't matter how it goes. The most important thing is that your baby is going to be here with you. So just having that in your mind, that's going to be already a very good reason why you'll be able to do that no matter which way your baby is going to come into this world. If you have any questions or you want to share your own experience, I would love you to leave the comment down below. I would love the comment section to be the place that all of us moms can just share our own experience and just help each other out. Thank you so much for watching this video. Remember, you're very strong and you're capable to do this no matter what. If you like this video and you would like to see more content for expecting and new moms, please subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!